All right, so I kind of feel like I have an obligation to say something here around how this fascist regime is using and abusing our National Guards members, which is an absolute disgrace. So far, we haven't necessarily seen any orders that are illegal yet. The LA thing was a bit touchy, so they did go to court about that. Like, Gavin Newsom tried to stop it while they were like basically on their way down there. Newsom lost that first fight. It's now they're in a court battle in an appeals case, I believe, in San Francisco. So watch that one. The one in D.C., I'm hearing some people make some claims that they're not true, and it's a bit fear-mongering, and I understand people are angry. They're not comfortable with having our guard be used this way. I'm not comfortable with it either, but it isn't necessarily illegal. The basis for them being used in DC is pretty bogus, but it's like, this is like, you have to understand something. Like, this is not Trump, this is not Pete Hegseth, this is the knuckleheads that were part of writing Project 2025. What is that group really? It's a bunch of people that study the hell out of the law to look for loopholes, look for gray areas that they can exploit to accomplish the very shitty and illegal, like the very bad things that they want to do to this country. So I guarantee you they looked at what is possible in DC that's not possible elsewhere, because they want to establish a precedent. They want to normalize using our troops under false pretenses, like they're addressing crime, which isn't true. They're not even going into high crime, like the quote unquote higher crime areas in DC. DC is at like a 30-year low for crime. They don't care. They just make things up, so like it doesn't really matter, because it's the Republicans. They're gonna lie, they're gonna fearmonger, and what's happening in some ways, in a weird way, I would say, keep doing stupid shit with our guard, because it's making a lot of people even more angry about what's happening. It's making the guardsmen very unhappy, because while they're there, like, listen, I don't like that they're there. I'm not celebrating that they're there. Not at all. I'm saying in a lot of ways, this actually works better for people that are in opposition, because what it's doing to the troops, it's damaging their morale. It's making them like want to work with this regime even less. If they happen to do or like try to order them to do anything that's unlawful, they're even more motivated to not follow it, and probably squash anybody that within their own ranks that gets out of line to stop whatever the hell they're doing against our people, defending us, which is their job. They swore an oath to defend our country, our people, and honor the Constitution and protect it and defend it, right? They're being treated poorly. Like, there's been reports of them that they've had to like sleep on the floor. They didn't really have like proper food. They were not paid. They were either paid late or not. Like, there may be people who have not been paid for these deployments. And it's messing with their lives. It's messing with their families, because for people who don't know, I mean, I'm surprised if you don't know, but if you don't know, you don't know. Like, National Guard troops are like civilians most of the time, unless they're on orders, or unless they're doing their like annual training, or they're doing like, you know, if they're active guard, they have their drills 1 weekend a month where they go to their unit, and you know they do what they do during their drill weekends. I was in the guard with the New York Army National Guard as part of the 3rd and 142nd Aviation Battalion. I finished as an NCO. I started as a private second class PV2 when I came in, because I had some education. But yeah, I served in the guard for 8 years, so I know the deal. You know, you do your drill weekends, and you're expected to perform like active duty people. Like, you do your jobs, and you know, you do your formations and trainings and all the stuff, and stay up to date on everything. And they get vaccinated, by the way. Like, we had to get all kinds of vaccinations. It's mandatory, like for readiness. Like, you can't have a sick military or a military that's not ready to go to whatever place you have to go where there's like illnesses there. So that's pretty normal, standard practice. But they don't really go anywhere unless they're being given orders. So like you get orders, you show up to wherever wherever your unit is stationed at, and then they let you know what the hell's going on, and then you get ready to go, and you go, and you get put up like wherever they can put you up. And it's not exactly like glamorous. Like I stayed down in Brooklyn, New York, after the London bombings, and we were backing up the MTA, and we stayed at these like abandoned like apartment buildings that they turned into temporary quarters, and it literally was like condemned buildings that they actually demolished like the day we were leaving. So that's how we treat our guard members. No AC, by the way. That was fun in the summer. So yeah, like it's not great for the troops. They don't want to be there, so please don't beat up on the troops. They're not being used for police. I only saw one example where I think like the Marines did some assistance with temporarily detaining somebody that were like, they were trying to enter like what was considered like a restricted area, but as soon as they could, they did the handoff to the police. So, and I believe that's probably within whatever orders. I'd have to look at the orders itself, but that's not like, it's not like they're being like asked to do what ICE is doing. That's not what they're doing. They're just mostly standing around, like as we saw video of them doing like a whole bunch of mulch and picking up trash, which is like really ridiculous, and it's costing us a lot of money. Like it's like $1.1 million per day, which is not an effective use of taxpayers' dollars. It's just a big show. And really, I think mostly what this is about is they want to normalize having troops in blue cities so they can try to intimidate people to not come out and vote. That's why they're most likely trying to stop mail-in ballots, which is perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with it. The claims that there's like higher fraud with mail-in balloting, no, it isn't. They have hunted for that so many times, and they got so embarrassed that they had to shut down those commissions once they didn't find what they were looking to find. And you know, it's good enough for Trump to vote by mail. A lot of our troops that are stationed overseas vote by mail. So you're going to deny the vote of veterans, of service members? Really? You're gonna deny the vote of like college students? You're gonna deny the vote of people that live in remote locations that it's not easy for them to get to a polling place? I mean, it's really about like trying to hurt black and brown people that they're probably gonna try to crack down the most on, like they tend to. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to the elections because I have a feeling they're gonna be doing some pretty nasty stuff. And I heard they're trying to basically encourage vigilantes to come amongst the National Guardsmen to probably attack protesters. So that's interesting. Not good, not good, not good. Totally illegal. For like this whole regime is just, it's the most un-American shit I've ever heard of. There's so much stuff that's against the law, which, you know, the president's primary role, you know, commander-in-chief, like commands the Navy and the Army in times of you know, dangerous situations for temporary actions that it's not, you know, suitable to wait for Congress. But that hasn't happened. And then he's supposed to make sure that the laws are faithfully executed, and he's just doing a whole lot of illegal stuff. So, and he's a wannabe dictator. He says, oh, I'm not a dictator. Well, technically no, but he's acting like he wants to be, and he's treating our troops like crap. So I have something to say about it. As a veteran, I say fuck you for what you're doing to our troops. Fuck you for what you're doing to our people. Fuck you for what you're doing to migrants. Fuck you to what you're doing to American businesses. Good hardworking people are losing a lot. Farmers are losing. People are spending way more money than they have to. They should have to because of the stupid tariffs, because of the stupid trade war, and we're in more danger. And you know, it seems like he's rolling over for Russia, rolling over for Netanyahu, because he thinks he's going to get like beachfront property. Newsflash, guy, it's looking like you ain't going to last a year with your health, and you're questioning whether or not you're going to get into heaven or not. Seems like you're going to fast track to hell, and there's probably a special place in hell for you and everybody who supports you. I contend people that support this regime are the most un-American motherfuckers I've ever heard of. And y'all, the world would be so much better if you didn't exist, or if you just get the fuck out of the way and let actual adults who actually care about humanity Address the real problems instead of you guys getting in the way of us actually doing anything about the real problems. You guys have been holding us back this entire goddamn time with your right-wing stupid ideology and your wrong-headed view on everything. It's your ignorance, it's your irrational fear, your irrational hatred. Yes, you're just broken religious ideology that, like, I'm an atheist. I don't hate all religion. I just hate the kind of fucking shit that people like you do under the guise of religion, under this notion that you're serving God while doing the most heinous evil shit I have ever heard human beings do in my lifetime. And try to say that's like serving God or something. Like, y'all are trying to bring on like the fucking, what do you call it? The shit with Israel, the second coming or whatever the fuck from Book of Revelations, the rapture. Y'all are trying to bring on the rapture, like, for fucking real? Y'all like going off of some like Iron Age book. Could you fucking grow up? Like, people are actually dying. We're not supposed to be okay. We're not supposed to be helping people engage in genocide, people engage in ethnic cleansing, people engage in a famine. It's not okay to be blowing up kids or adults for no fucking reason other than like psychos that don't want to be held accountable. You got Netanyahu, you got fucking Trump, and then the whole, like, Elon Musk and the whole fucking Republican Party. They're a bunch of criminals. And yeah, there's some criminals in the establishment Democratic Party. I want justice, liberty and justice for all. For all of us that were born fucking free or fighting for our freedom, we should be fucking fine if we didn't do anything wrong to anybody. But the people that are the biggest criminals in the world, you guys cover up for. Trump did a whole bunch of executive orders and a whole bunch of ugly pardons. Sorry, I got a call. So what I was saying about the pardons that Trump has done, you should look at the list. This is like the murderer's row of people that have engaged in all kinds of heinous crimes, like white-collar crimes, human trafficking, people involved in like the drug trade, people involved in like crypto, people involved in Medicaid fraud. It's just a big list. Like, it's a complete abuse of the pardon power. Do you know what the pardon power is meant to be used for? So you got to think about it from the context of what the president's role is as the executive, right? They're supposed to be making sure that the laws are faithfully executed. So basically, the pardon power is when there is some kind of injustice that's been done. Like, basically, the assessment is that the law was not implemented fairly. So maybe, I don't know, new evidence was discovered after somebody had been tried and convicted. And we found that they were either in fact innocent or they played like a lesser role in the crime. Or they should be pardoned because they were principally innocent. Like, they're still in jail. And the only way to remedy that, to ensure that the laws are faithfully executed, because if you're not guilty of a crime, you should be released, right? And if for some reason that, you know, that harm can't be addressed in a normal legal pathway, that's where the pardon power would come in. But that's not how Trump has used it. He has basically pardoned people that either are tangentially related to giving the Trump campaign or the Republican Party in general money, right? I mean, like, essentially, I think it was Rudy Giuliani. They were essentially like selling pardons. Like, I don't know how people as like adults in this country don't hate everything that Trump and the Republican Party stand for, as well as the establishment Democratic Party. And I would argue I have big problems with how the Green Party operates, right? Like, we as adults should be questioning power always. It's always up for criticism. We should be challenging power always. That's why I have no respect for authoritarians, because they basically just bow down to authority no matter what it does. And I have no respect for that, because that's frankly unethical. It's childish kind of behavior. We all should grow up, and we should all aim to be good citizens. We should honor the social contract. We should honor that everybody has a right to human rights, to dignity, to equal justice and equal treatment. You know, just fairness, right? Just as a basic principle. And empathy is a strength. Acknowledging that you're wrong, you got the facts wrong, and correcting yourself and correcting your behavior. Those are simple things that we should all honor. And all of us are equal, and we all deserve dignity. Respect is something that is, I would say, is earned. I mean, generally, like if I run into the average person, I do my best to treat them fairly until they give me reason to do otherwise. When they break the social contract, I will probably impose some kind of consequence, right? I will address it. I'll give them an opportunity to like correct themselves. Like I'll address it with them. That's just part of my ethical code, personally and professionally. Like maybe the person doesn't realize what they did, so I'll talk to them. That's a simple consequence. Like, hey, do you know what just happened there? Like, what's going on with that? Right? It's just being an adult. So look at the pardon list, and if you can still support this stuff outside of the fact that like maybe you were just completely brainwashed and you were lied to a lot and you got tricked, that's one thing. But again, as an adult with easy access to information, like maybe it's just too much information for you or something. But I just I can't vibe with people that continue to support the Republican Party. I think the Democratic Party has done a pretty bad job at villainizing the Republican Party as much as they deserve, because they do a lot of harm. Like they are literally trying to end democracy. They are trying to basically silence us, silence our voice, to have any say in how things go. I don't know how you could ever support that. It doesn't make any sense to me. They will erode rule of law, at least for us, and we will have basically no rights, no freedoms. That is not a world anybody should want to live in. That's not going to be better for anybody. And if you think you don't like corruption now, wait until you see what happens. I mean, we're already watching it. But look at the pardons. Look at that. It's completely insane, completely unacceptable. I don't know how you can support it. So stand with our troops, encourage them, let them know, like, hey, listen, I appreciate your service. I understand that you may not even support the reason why you're here. I don't like that you're being used as a prop. I don't think that's right. But I'm afraid for you and me. I hope that you will continue to protect us as you have sworn to do. Will you take a knee with me? I think we need solidarity. I think we need to ask this of our police officers. I think we need to ask this of our other leaders. I think the people need to stand in solidarity. Stand down if you can stand down. For people that can't, like if they have mobility issues, you should probably be careful about where you are and make sure you have exit routes. Like, honestly, if you have disabilities, I would be very careful moving forward about doing like public protests. I would say it's probably safer for you to resist in other ways, because what they seem to, I mean, they're trying to make it legal for them to include like right-wing vigilantes that want to attack protesters. Like, I think they've been stifled by the fact that people haven't been violent, because they want a pretense to declare to use the Insurrection Act. So we cannot give that to them, and I do not want to see you get hurt. You have a right to protest. You have a right to use your voice. I would be careful about being in spaces and places that put you at risk. Just know that you're taking a risk, and know that in this time, you are probably putting your life on the line moving forward. So please be careful. I would encourage you to resist in other ways. I think it's important that people that look like me, our elderly people, primarily white people, need to raise their voice and reject this regime. We need to demand accountability. We need our leaders to say, listen, ICE, you are not protected by this regime. They will not protect you from crimes in states. You can be held criminally liable, and we will arrest you. If we see that you are operating outside the law, we will arrest you. And we will make your release very difficult. And we will make it very easy for you to lose everything. So be careful who you are serving, because this is a disloyal regime. They do not care about you. They're using you as a pawn. You should resign. Anybody who is working for this regime should resign. They should disempower them. Those that do resign will probably be treated more favorably than others who stay, because there will be accountability. There has to be. The public should be saying, there is no version of this, assuming we get out of it, and I think we will, there should be no version of this where these people are not held accountable. We cannot do like Obama did and just excuse war crimes, atrocities, torture, and he shouldn't have allowed it during his administration either. I would argue Obama should have been impeached I think he should have had to go before the Hague for crimes against humanity and everybody that was involved because of the drone wars, because of the torture at Abu Ghraib and Guantanamo Bay. He admitted that we tortured folks. The Patriot Act should have been eliminated, and we should have stopped the forever wars stuff. And Palantir should be defanged, dismantled, and any of the other agencies that are operating to make a super surveillance state that's going to be used, that's being used against our undocumented folks now. It's been used against citizens. We've had veterans that have had their rights basically revoked, at least temporarily. So use your voice. Be careful out there. Our troops are not our enemy. They serve us. If they're given lawful orders, they have to follow them. I believe in many cases they're probably engaging in malicious compliance. You should look that up if you're not sure what that means. They're going to do their best, and they're not all, they're not all necessarily on our side. There will be some that are right wingers that are, again, I'm not saying this about all people on the right. We can disagree on some things, but I will not tolerate a position that is a violation of human rights, a violation of dignity, a violation of equal justice for all people. Any thoughts on white supremacy or Christian nationalism or any of those things, those are against our founding documents. You can look them up if you want. It's not okay to misinterpret them for your own purposes. I'm not. It's just squarely not. That's based on case law. Some of our troops are racists. Some of our troops they don't like leftists. They don't understand what we're about anyway. They're homophobes. They're bigots. Some of them would welcome the opportunity to crack down on people. So they are amongst the guard, but I think the vast majority want to serve their country, they serve their community, and they don't want to do anything to hurt our people. So we have to appeal to the humanity as much as we can. For others, they want respect. So it's like, hey, I appreciate your service. Please stand with us. We don't want you guys to be used like this, and we don't like that you're being mistreated. We think that's wrong. Okay, so take care, guys.